Hello, beautiful people. Today I'm here to share with you the books that I would like to pick up this summer. Now, most of these books have real summer vibes to me. Not all of them, but most of them do. And just feel like they scream summer. The first book that I am already reading, 60-something pages in, is One Perfect Couple. This follows Lila and I believe Nico. They are a young couple. She is a scientist. He is an aspiring actor, struggling aspiring actor. And he thinks that he's got his big break to go on a reality TV show. The one thing is that he needs Lila to come along with him. This TV show is called One Perfect Couple, and it would show, I think it's 5 or 6 couples. They kind of break them up and see if they could be tempted to date other people. It's kind of like Love Island meets Survivor. And she reluctantly, very reluctantly agrees. And they go to this secluded island, and then a storm comes in. And of course, people are being killed off and hurt. So you've got the lead in to them actually going to this island. And then you're also receiving calls from people on the island in the middle of the night trying to get a hold of someone to come and save them from the storm and from all the people that are injured from this storm, or from someone there. I don't know. But I'm really liking it so far. I really love Ruth Ware's writing, and so far she hasn't done me wrong. So really enjoying that. I'd also really like to read instructions for a Heatwave by Maggie O'Farrell. This takes place in London in 1976. We've got a very oppressively hot summer. Like, I think in history, it was one of the hottest summers on record. Although I imagine now with climate change, that will change. However, we are following a family. The patriarch of the family has up and left. Very suddenly, he has taken all of the money out of the bank account and vanished out of thin air. And we meet, I think, 3 adult children coming home to try and find their father. And it takes them on quite a ride. So I'd love to read that. Next, I'd really love to get into The Quiet Tenant. I've heard great things about this book. This is about a kidnapper and serial killer. We have Aidan Thomas, who is a family man. He has a wife, he has a child, and he also has an addiction to being a terrible man. So no one in this little town knows that he is a serial killer. I think he's killed 8 women, and he has his 9th victim kidnapped, sitting in a shed outside his house. Now, his wife dies, I believe, unexpectedly, and he has to move. So he takes his daughter, Cecilia, as well as Rachel, the woman who he has kidnapped, along, and they move to a new place. And he introduces Rachel to his daughter, Cecilia, as an old family friend who needs a place to stay. Rachel has been kidnapped for, I think, 5 years now. And at this point, he thinks that he's like done a good job of brainwashing her. But Rachel has not been brainwashed entirely. And she is betting on Cecilia to try to escape. So we follow this story from the perspectives of Rachel and Cecilia. And then we also follow the perspective of Emily. She owns a local restaurant and has a crush on Aidan. Bad choice, Emily, bad choice. It tells the story from their perspectives, and it sounds fantastic. Again, I've only heard good things about this, so I'd love to get into that this summer. Another book I'd love to get into is Reasons She Goes to the Woods. I love a creepy child story. I really did. I did a whole video on that. And I'm hoping that this will have the first day of spring vibes to it. This follows a little girl named Pearl. And Pearl can be a very, very good girl. And then sometimes she can be very bad. And this showcases her over the course of her childhood, heading to the woods and doing bad things there. I don't know much more about it than that. It sounds incredible. And again, I've heard good things about this. Another one that I've been seeing pop up a lot on Bookstagram in particular is The Drowning Woman by Robyn Harding. And this follows two women. We've got Lee, who's not doing well in her life. She's thinking that she's going to have to move soon. She goes down to the beach to like mull it over basically. And she witnesses a woman throw herself into the ocean, seemingly trying to drown herself. Of course, Lee steps in, saves the woman. And instead of being grateful, the woman is furious with her. Lee like moves on with her life, thinks she's never going to meet this woman again. And then the very next day, she meets this woman named Hazel again. Hazel did open up to her when she was saved that she was actually trying to kill herself because she's in a terribly abusive relationship where she feels completely caged. And now that she's met Lee, she's going to ask Lee to help her escape and essentially vanish. And it's the story of those two women. Sounds really great. Murder Road is the new Simone St. James. I love her. This is like got road trip vibes, and I am here for that. This takes place in 1995, and we've got April and Eddie. They were on the way to a small resort for their honeymoon, but they've gotten lost. And unfortunately, they have stumbled upon a crime scene, basically. This woman, a hitchhiker, gets into their car, and it's very apparent fairly quickly that she is badly injured. They bring her to a hospital, and soon afterwards, I believe she passes away. And now April and Eddie are being asked all sorts of things by the police, and they might even think that she is, or they are somewhat responsible for this woman, because I think there have been a series of missing women on this stretch of highway. It sounds so creepy. It also takes place in July, so perfect for summer. The next book I haven't even hauled yet, and this is called Diavola. This one follows a family who go away for a holiday vacation to this very beautiful home. It's a mansion, villa kind of thing. And it seems like the perfect place to like spend some quality time together, even though there's some, I think, tension in the family. But then strange things happen at the house itself. There are strange noises at night. There's unsettling warnings from the local villagers, and a dark, violent past in the villa itself. I think it sounds really, really exciting. I've heard people say that this is actually quite terrifying. So I am all set for this one. Also, the cover is terrifying. Whoever designed this cover, like that, if you saw that, if you were going to vacation at a villa and you saw that, I would leave immediately. Oh my God, absolutely not. I couldn't. Last but not least is a book that has been on practically every summer TBR that I've ever had, and that is Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. People say that if you liked it or struggled with it, you should read this instead, because it does follow a group of kids over their summer holiday. We are in a small town in Illinois in the summer of 1960, and we follow 5 12-year-old boys. And we follow them just being kids, playing in the woods and riding their bikes. But at a certain time every evening, a bell rings out in this small town, and everyone knows you have to go home, lock your doors, because there is an evil in this town that everyone seems to know about. These boys have decided to fight the evil this summer themselves. And that sounds incredible. It's very, very tiny writing. So this is embarrassing, but I went ahead and bought this on my Kobo as well, because it's a chunky one. And also the writing is so small that, yeah, I thought maybe I should have this on Kobo. So I'll probably be reading it from my Kobo. But yeah, those are all of the books that I'd really, really love to get to this summer. They scream summer to me, and I'm trying to be more mindful of reading in the actual season that I'm existing in. I tend to read ahead, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to just enjoy where I'm at. We are in summer. I'm going to read summery books. Let me know in the comments below if you have any summery books that you would recommend to me, to everybody else here. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if there are any books on your summer TBR that scream summer to you, I would love to know. I hope you guys are all doing very well. I'll talk with you soon. Bye.